What's up, everybody? It's Classic Andy, that official Classic Andy. And I wanted to make a quick video. Not going to be super long, and I'm really not going to do any editing on this. I had a thought, and I wanted to get it out there while it was on the top of my mind. And that is the appropriate way to deal with toxic players within your guild. So, little backstory on me. Myself and a good friend of mine, Q, back in 2019, started a guild called ICE. And as you guys can see, the guild is still going strong. We're going on 6 years, and it's really exciting, and it's an awesome feeling. We have a lot of the same players that have played with us for all 6 years, literally since day one of Classic launch. So I like to think at this point I have a pretty good idea of how to run a successful guild, and in my private life, I own a handful of successful businesses, and so I feel like I have a pretty good gauge on how to properly handle an organization. Throughout time, in your guild, when you're a GM or an officer or whatever position you have in a guild, maybe you're just a player, you will encounter from time to time players who are toxic. Players who just, for whatever reason, they don't play well with others. And a lot of times I feel like what will happen with those players is they get talked to, and they get talked to, and they get talked to, and things change for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but down the road, a month later, you're right back in the same spot. You're having the same conversations again with a 30-year-old man about why he can't call people, fat or losers, or everyone's dumb except them. And it's exhausting and it's tiring. Guys, your raid leaders, your officers, your GMs, you're not a correctionals officer. You're not a therapist. You're not a behavioral analysis specialist. You don't do those things. You play World of Warcraft. It is not your job to fix adults who refuse to have the basic decency to be kind to other people on the internet. Look, all of us play in Classic. The majority of us are like dads. Like, we have full-time jobs, or we run businesses, and we have kids, and all these like things that are significantly more important than just the game. The rest of your raiders are dealing with all of that same stuff, and they don't need to be coming to raid and getting yelled at by some guy who just wants to be a dick just for being a dick. He had a bad day and he's going to take it out on all of you guys. You don't need someone in your Discord server when everybody's trying to hang out and have a good time and just chill. You don't need someone going in there and blowing up the spot and making it uncomfortable for everybody. If you allow players like that in your guild, I want to be crystal clear about what you're doing. You are saying to the entire guild, even though you're not saying it extemporaneously, but your actions speak volumes. Okay? Your actions tell stories, and the story that you're telling through your inability or unwillingness to kick these players is that this one person, the most unhealthy person in the guild, in the raid, is going to dictate how we all behave. They're going to dictate the culture of your guild. Cannot do it. And I know it can be hard because sometimes these players are really high performing, or maybe they're tanks and you've already given them all of this gear. It's a sunken cost fallacy, and it's a fallacy for a reason. Guys, you get rid of a weed right when it starts growing. You don't wait for it to sprout up and get through your entire garden. That's not the appropriate way to handle things. Okay? If you kick someone too early, yeah, that sucks. But there's really not going to be a whole lot of harm from it. I'm telling you right now, if you wait to kick someone for too long, your guild can fall apart because of it. And I personally have dealt with that multiple times. There's a saying in business, right? Hire slowly and fire quickly. It's an important lesson to learn. It's not only true in business, it's also true in World of Warcraft. It's also true in dating. People will let you know who they are very early on. You need to believe them. If you allow these toxic players to take a root inside of your guild, I want you to just understand the underlying cost of something like that. What you're doing is you are allowing these toxic players to infiltrate and spread and poison the well, and your players who are not that way are going to quit. And over time, you're developing this culture of allowing toxicity into your organization. And then what happens sooner than later? None of the nice people are left. None of the cool people are left. None of the people that you like talking to in Discord, the people that you love to have banter with, the people that you'll stay up with till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when you know you're supposed to be asleep and you're not really doing anything in the game, but they're so much fun to talk to and you're having such a good time with the boys, those people are all gone. And what do you have now? You have a bunch of people who you avoid until it's raid time, and then you can barely stand being in there with them. And the moment Nefarian dies, the moment Ragnaros dies, the moment Cthulhu dies, you log out immediately because you don't want to talk to him anymore. Don't let that happen to you. Protect your guild, protect the 39 other people in your raid, and do what needs to be done. Yes, it's hard sometimes, and yes, it sucks. I've been there a bunch of times, and I'll be there a bunch of times more, but it's the responsible thing to do, and your raid leaders and your guildies will appreciate it, and I promise you they will take note that you are doing everything you can to protect them and to foster an environment that is welcoming and non-toxic to all players, and they'll invite more people into the raid, and you'll get that person replaced before you know it. So there's your advice from Official Classic Andy. If you got to pull a weed, do it before it spreads throughout the entire garden. What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for watching. Second YouTube video. Pretty cool. Feeling good about things. Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment if you guys have ever dealt with a toxic player in your guild. It's like asking for it's like asking for flies and honey, right? Everybody's dealt with that at some point. But go ahead and leave us your story. Tell us a story if you didn't kick a player early enough, or if a raid you were in didn't kick a player early enough. Tell us about the chaos it caused. And here's a cool video YouTube will think that you'll like. Check us out on Twitch, and we'll see you later.